Who are behind them, please kindly settle down. Kindly request that you settle down. We shall start with a word of prayer. Then we'll move on to our national anthem, Paluga Taifa. My name is Millionaire Anthony Roberts. We call ourselves millionaires in this program. It's the first time for you to be here, please, by show of hand. It's your first time for you to be here, please. We love visitors. We appreciate our members. We are together for family. Thank you very much. And we shall get started. I request each one of us to be upstanding, that we honor our God and we sing our national anthem. And we shall be led by none other than Elder, Millionaire, and Kano Sinde. Please.
Let's give thanks. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in our lives, even as it is in heaven. Thank you this day because of our lives. Thank you because you have brought us together. Help us as we seek to transform lives, to change our lives through good ideas. We thank you for Space Global, a platform which is enhancing the change of lives. We thank you for everyone who is here. We thank you for members. We thank you for visitors. That even as this idea is being presented, Father, give us good understanding. Give us good ideas, because good ideas come from you. We thank you for those who are on the way. Bless them as they come to join us. And lead us into everything that will give you glory. We bless you. We worship you. We glorify you. We thank you for the peace in this country. We thank you for the leaders in this country. How we pray that you give them wisdom. Wisdom which comes from you. That in their day-to-day decisions, they will decide what will benefit this country. We thank you for each one of us. Now let your peace reign in our lives. Let your peace reign in our hearts as we move on in hearing this concept of changing our lives. We bless you and honor you. For this is our prayer this day in Jesus' holy name.
While you're still standing, ladies and gentlemen, let's sing our national anthem, Paluga Taifa. This is a country that we love, don't we? Yes. Attention, please. Mungu yetu, ilete baraka kwetu, akiwe ngao na mlinzi, na tukae na udugu, amani na uhuru, raha tupate na ustawi. Yes, you may have your seats, and please, if you're seated alone, look for someone to sit next to, because in a short while I'll be asking you to give a high five to somebody. Come on, make up a piano, I want my guest here, high five. Please, look at the person next to you, give them a high five, tell them in the right place at the right time. At the right place at the right time. Yes, sir. I'm not going to use your phone, man. The right place at the right time. Thank you for being here. We love visitors. It's a lovely program that we're housing. I'd like just to mention, please remind you, put your phones on silent mode. Put your phones on silent mode. You might be sitting next to a millionaire and they don't want to get disturbed. This is a nice opportunity. So put your phones on silent mode. Right by right, you'll find a place you can assist yourself. Should you get that call of nature that we can never quantify? We can never quantify that call of nature. So, gents, ladies who are at the back, just right outside, you'll find a place you can assist yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, how was your week? How was your Mashujaa Day? Which Mashujaa did you celebrate? Which Mashujaa did you celebrate, ladies and gentlemen? Like we just mentioned, quickly just let you know what happened on Tuesday. On Tuesday, the Space Global Fraternity went to climb a mountain. Mount Longonot. How many people climbed that mountain? How many? Just a few of us here. We climbed that mountain. It was an experience and a half. It was a very, very good experience. Because such is life, that some people will climb and they'll get discouraged and they won't climb up to the top. Some climbed and they went round the crater. And the following day, all of us were in pain. We seemed because of doing something that we've not been doing. We've not been practicing. We've not been doing that repeatedly. But for us, some of us, even talking here is something easy because we've been doing it repeatedly. Right? So for something that you've not done in a long time, it becomes difficult and it gets painful. But as you become an expert in it, it becomes easy. Can I hear an amen? Amen. Yes, thank you very much. Now, please look at the person next to you and just give them a smile. Give them a smile. Because here in Kenya is it's the only place you can export smiles and you make foreign exchange. You make money. So I'm not seeing people smiling here. What's the problem? We here you make money. Richard Davenport says something. He says, money ain't important, but it's up there with oxygen. It's up there with oxygen. The same way that you're breathing, money is that important. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take this opportunity to invite one of our members who is doing this business. She's been doing this business for 1 year and a couple of other months. And she's very passionate because in this business we also measure. We have a passionometer. And she's been voted as the most passionate person in this business. So I'd like to invite one lady to give us a testimony. What she saw in this business, she had some outlets, Zagas, and she closed all of them, 12 of them. She closed them because she saw something very good in this business. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome none other than millionaire Mercy Kangara. Please help me welcome millionaire Mercy Kangara. Thank you for being here. Karibu sana.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Aren't you excited like the way I am excited? My name is Millionaire Mercy Kangara. Very, very excited. And before you leave this place, you will understand why I'm so excited. Because one, we've been talking. We've been coming here every day. We are talking to people about our plans, our phase 1, our phase 2. Do you know, today I'm telling you, there are no more stories. The supermarkets are here with us. Now, to our guests, I want you to know, if you have not registered, you are just coming into a very, very powerful business system. Why do I say that? Because our phase 1 business is in telecommunication. Si kila mtu hapa akona simu. Si kila mtu hutumia airtime. Now, airtime has become a basic necessity. Let's make people's habits our business. Whenever people are loading airtime, you'll be earning. Then phase 2 is the supermarkets, and you can see there, Space Global Supermarkets. Very soon, you're going to be seeing banners hanging saying, Space Global Supermarket coming soon. So, kindly register today after the business is given to you. I don't want to preempt. There's somebody else doing the business presentation. Register today and start buying shares, because already we are buying those shares to be owners of the supermarkets. And that's why 2 years back, 2013, when I heard of this business presentation, I was seated right here on 21st November 2013. I'll never forget that day. And what I had, remember, I bought this business opportunity with only airtime phase. I didn't know about all these others that are coming. And not only telecommunication, that time we were doing with only Orange. but I was completely sold out. I said, even if it is going to take me 10 years, this is the business I want to do. I was doing another business, selling gas in Buruburu. I'm a teacher by profession, maths, chemistry, graduate from Kenya Science Teachers College. But that one I had left a long time ago because I looked at the pay slip that I'm going to earn after 30 days. I said, hii ni poverty natafuta, sitaenda. I never went where I was posted. I started doing my own businesses. Then, 2002, I opened my first shop in gas distribution. And by 2008, I had 10 outlets. But by the time I was joining DIPEC then, now Space Global, I had 8 outlets. I had started shutting them down because I realized with conventional businesses, because systems are very expensive to put in place, it will eat up all your profit. So hata watu wale umeajiri, they steal from you left, right and center. So I had started downsizing my shops. By the time I came to this business presentation, I had 8 outlets. I registered the same day. I said, even if only 20% of what they are saying is the truth, the rest I'll know when I'm inside. And the same day I registered, I bought 10 kids and I went with them. And the following day on Wednesday, 9 people were in the system. Don't ask me what I was telling them. But I was on fire. I was excited. And I'm ever excited even up to today. 6 months down the line, I realized all what had been promised was coming to be the truth. Everything I had been told about this business, my team was growing, my money was growing every day and every week because here we get paid on a weekly basis. That is when I decided 2014, September, or rather August 31st, I closed all my 8 outlets in Buruburu and I'm doing Space Global on a full-time basis. I'm doing full-time basis and I've never looked back. I'm going to give this business only 5 years. So I'm 2 years old now. I have a team size of over 6,000 people. So you can imagine over that 6,000 people doing shopping and I'm earning. Woo! I can't wait. So our guest, it is your time. You are not late, but don't keep postponing. Please have an open mind. Remember, it doesn't matter your situation today. Let your situation not determine your future. If you are born poor, it's not your mistake. But if you die poor, it is your mistake. Thank you very much. And please have an open mind. This is the best opportunity in the world, not only Kenya, in the world. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tita is today passionate about what she's doing. Next to be you coming up here to give your testimony. Let's give her a round of applause, please. Thank you, Lady Mercy. And she said that she's not looking back. She doesn't look back. And then tell people, if our good Lord wanted us to be looking back, He would have given us an eye right behind the head, yeah? Seriously? Because we've had people mention other things that they engaged in and they didn't work. So, this is a business that is working. It's a system that is working. And thank you, Billionaire Mercy, for that motivation and testimony. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most expensive things that we'll ever encounter in this world is a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity. I remember a story of a man called Shaquille O'Neal. Who's known Shaquille O'Neal? The young people might will know Shaquille. Look at the people who love basketball. They know Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal was approached by investors of Starbucks in the US. And he was told to invest in that company. But he said, no, I don't even drink coffee. Why should I even invest my money in Starbucks? Yet I don't drink coffee. And he didn't invest. He didn't even put his money. 2 years down the line, he goes to China to play basketball there. And as he was standing in a boardroom, he saw people lining up for coffee. Winter time, Chinese lining up for coffee at the Starbucks outlets. And he said that was the biggest mistake he's ever done in his life. Not taking up an opportunity when it was presented to him, even if he didn't take coffee. Right? So this is a good opportunity. Don't waste it. If you're here for the first time, it's a very good opportunity. And ladies and gentlemen, this past week I've been exposed to a number of people, very many people, very prominent people. And I'm glad to learn that, even to know that there are people, Kenyans, our own Kenyans, now writing books, writing very good books. Yesterday I was in a book launch by one Mr. Joel Kobe at KCC. And why am I mentioning books? Because we have in our midst a gentleman who's launching his book on the 30th of November. This man will stand there and speak to us because of all the things he has done in this society and all the lives he's touched, all the people he's influencing. This man is an architecture by profession. He loves interior designing. He's a graduate of, do I need to mention all of them or say you mention? He's a board member of a school called Ithanga. He's the CEO of a company called Eco Vision Consultants. So he's here with us to tell us what he's doing. He's a board member of Manu High School. So he'll tell us all the things that he's been able to do and all the projects that he's running in those schools. And how this program, of course, will impact teachers. We've seen teachers going on strike, or leave mshahara. Come on, on strike. So this gentleman is right here with us. So ladies and gentlemen, kindly help me welcome none other than Mr. and I'll call him millionaire Stephen Moiro. Please help me welcome millionaire Stephen Moiro. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Millionaire Anthony, sorry. Good afternoon, millionaires. I see Anthony has tried to flavor my CV. I see myself as a very simple person. For the simple reason that I belong to whoever or whichever group has the same kind of ideals as I do. And when I met millionaire Anthony, he told me about what you people are doing. And I was like, wow, you mean you can make money when you're just sleeping? You mean you can make money even when you don't want to make money? To me, that's perhaps the best thing that has happened in my life so far. To just have the knowledge that if you join Space Globe and you actually put in a little effort, you can forget about this RBA, retirement benefit, pension things, because your pension is guaranteed. And I'm here today on invitation from millionaire Anthony. I don't know what it is I told him that made him think I'm the right person as a guest to come and share a few minutes of fame with you. Because for me, standing here is getting minutes of fame. Every time you have a chance to speak to people, always remember God has put you on a platform of fame. So what you do with that platform is what determines whether you will be a joker or a hero, isn't it? So I do hope by the time I'm through with my presentation, I will have gotten some favor, not only from the new people, but also from God. Let me start by just maybe explaining a bit more about myself. As millionaire Anthony said, my name is Steve Moiro. I'm an architect by profession. I've practiced architecture for the last 20 years. And in those years, I've done all sorts of projects, starting with toilets, small cow sheds, very big projects of the nature of 680. So basically, as a career, I have a good career. But somebody once said that there are two kinds of things that can change a person. Having all the money in this world will never change you, because the change has to come from within, not from outside. And the two things that they say can change a person are number one, the people you meet. Number two, the books you read. This year, I happen to have been very privileged to meet people who have made my life change. People who have made me see the essence of broadening your scope of thinking. Who have made me see the opportunities that are out there which I have never been thinking about. And let me tell you something. Where I'm going with this is, as an architect who's practiced for 20 years, we would all imagine, in terms of money, this guy doesn't need money. True? You made money. But what if tomorrow I became disabled? What if tomorrow I was in bed and I wasn't able to practice? What happens? The money I had made will just start getting used up, isn't it? But if you have put the money you have made into ventures, like what Space Global is talking about, then it doesn't matter. Even if you are incapacitated, you'll still be making money. Your children will still be eating. They will still be going to school. And that is why when I met Anthony, I said, voila, one of those things about people who can change you is happening to me. I've met a guy who's told me something that changes the way I think, that brings on board what I call possibility thinking. Winston Churchill, you all know about Winston Churchill, I hope. He was the Prime Minister of Great Britain. And Winston Churchill is one of perhaps the most famous, the most popular in his time Prime Minister. And there's a story of his I like sharing, and I want to share that with you. Winston Churchill was simple, and he liked things simple, but he was also efficient, and he lived beyond his time. And as a Prime Minister, he had this character trait that if he lived in Kenya today, perhaps we would say he's foolish. Or maybe perhaps we would say he's a cool guy. There's one day he was called for an interview with BBC, and BBC studios were just a couple of 100 meters away from 10 Downing Street. 10 Downing Street is the official residence and office of the Prime Minister. And the interview was to take place at 6 in the evening, and it was to be broadcast live, of course. And at 5:30, he was still in the office, attending to other national matters. And he looked up at his clock on the wall, and he saw it's 5:30. So he didn't have much time. You can imagine London those days was probably like Nairobi now. Crowded, jams, you know, so getting somewhere would not be easy. And as a Prime Minister, he thought the best thing would be do not start clearing the roads for the dignitary. Just jump into a London cab and go to your appointment. So he got into a London taxi, and he told the driver, we have to be at the BBC studios at 6. The driver said, okay, but you recognize this, the possibility of a jam. And I have something I want to do at 6. So if we get on the road and the jam is such that we can't make it by your time, I will kindly ask you to disembark, take a walk, because I have to go back. I need to be in my house at 6. And Churchill said, fine, that's agreeable with me. So they got off. And true to the fears of the cab driver, when they were like 100 meters from the studios, there was serious jam. They were stuck for like 10 minutes, not moving. So this cab driver tells his passenger, please, as we agreed, and remember this guy didn't even know who the passenger was. As we agreed, just get off. I need to go. He said, really, what is this that you're going to do that is so important that you have to kick off a passenger? A guy who is paying you. He said, you know, I do not know where you live, but at 6 o'clock, there's a live broadcast of Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister, on BBC, and it is on the State of the Union, the State of the Nation. And I can't listen. So this guy asked you, Churchill about it. He asked the cab driver, "Did you know Winston Churchill?" And the cab driver was getting very irritated. He looked behind and he sees the face and couldn't believe. He said, "Now, do you still want to rush to your house and go and watch Winston Churchill at 6 o'clock when you have him right in your cab?" Ladies and gentlemen, the moral of this story is this. Sometimes your destiny is thrown right in front of your eyes, but you do not recognize it. A lot of us are running away from our destinies. And I say to you, Space Global can be the destiny of each and every one of you. I also say to you, wealth on its own may mean very little. If you want quality life, you must carry with you your children, your brothers, your sisters, your friends, your community. That's the only way that you can enjoy real wealth. Because if you're the richest person where you live and everybody else was a pauper, trust me, you have no peace. True or not? Space Global gives you a platform to enrich those around you. When you enrich those around you, then you get peace for yourself, you get security for yourself, you get joy for yourself. The list of adjectives to describe what you get is endless. So I urge all of you, just like millionaire Anthony urged me, those who have not joined Space Global, join Space Global. Those who are already in Space Global, because I know most of you are, please double your efforts to recruit as many people as possible. It took a whole afternoon for Anthony to explain and convince me what Space Global was all about. And even as an architect, as successful as I've been in what I've been doing, I was sold. He got what we call the line, hook and sinker for me. And I'm not looking back. I want to be the next Space Global millionaire. During our discussion with millionaire Anthony, he almost was making an apology for saying, in 8 months, if I'm correct, you can make 42 million. 48 million. But then he added something which I said, I'm not going to respond, I will respond when I come to your event. He said, theoretically it is possible, practically it is not. And I said, that's a paradox. And I say to you, if theoretically it is possible, it just means you need to turn the right buttons, and practically it is doable. Now, I want to tell you why this is so attractive to me. I have been running a school called Idanga as a chairman of its board for the last 8 years. Idanga Secondary School is like 3 schools in one. It's a mixed school with most of the students being day, but we do have a small section of boarders and their girls. So you're running a mixed school, so you have boys, girls. Those are 2 schools already. And you have day, that's another school. And you have boarding for girls. So it's like actually doing 4 schools. When I went there, the school had a lot of discipline issues. And of course, we know where discipline is concerned, even performance is affected, isn't it? So I said to myself, I am a product of a big national school. I went to Alliance High School. And I'm coming to a small school and I have accepted. If my stay here does not make a change to the lives of these young ones, I will have failed. As Dr. Miles Monroe once said, if your presence in this world is not missed when you're gone, then there was no need for you to be here. The only way your presence will be missed is if you've impacted on people's lives to such an extent that when you are gone, they wish you were here. And before I continue with that story, let me tell you one quote that I love from Dr. Miles Monroe. He said, the richest place in this world is in the cemetery. Are you with me? Yes. Do you know why? Yes. At least the millionaires would know. Do we all know why? Yes. Is there anybody in the room who doesn't know why? Okay. For the benefit of that one, let me just repeat it. And maybe the way I say it will be different. That's because therein lies a lot of unfulfilled dreams. Therein lies millionaires who are just wannabes. Therein lies books that were never written. Therein lies banks that were never opened. In a word, unfulfilled dreams. And the only way to fulfill your dreams while you are in this world is, number one, recognize you have that dream. But don't stay in bed. To get your dream realized, wake up, go and work on it. So let me get back to my mission in London. So when I went there and I saw the state of discipline, which I also connected with the poor state of performance, I drew up a 10-point agenda to change the state of things. And I said, you are the vision bearer here. You must be ready. Put weight of the others on your shoulders, because usually visions are not shared, right? So anyway, my 10-point agenda, I have accomplished most of it. This is a school where they had pit latrines, like most day schools are. I said, no, you guys, when you go to the university or higher level of learning, you get a culture shock when you get flashable toilets. You must change things like this. And we changed. That school had no means of transport and it's in the bush. And I'm asking these guys, when you are called to go and compete for games, for other educational issues, how do you move? You have to keep hiring ramshackles or matatus to take you there, where the self-esteem can never be high. And these are things that affect how people behave, how people perform. They said, I'm going to be your guest of honor in a Harambee, and you're going to buy a bus. And we bought a school bus. And the bus changed the mood, the morale, everything in that school, because they now had an identity. I took them, just like I saw Anthony here telling us to stand up so that we sing a national anthem. Nothing brings a community closer and something that they can recite like we used to in the national pledge we had. You remember the Pledge of Loyalty those days? I don't know whether it still goes on. So I told the school, I want a competition among the students for a school anthem. And they came up with beautiful pieces. And we marched